In today's video, Chance Robinson drops a top 3. I got to talk about KJ, touch base on the Javion Cohen situation that happened over the past weekend. But first, what's up, guys? Welcome to NDTV Canes All Day. If you're rocking with then you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. And big shout out to the Cane Gang, to the members of the channel. I appreciate you guys way more than you know. First up, Miami added depth to their linebacking core, adding KJ Cloyd, 6'2", 229-pound linebacker. People have been messaging me on Twitter, asking me, how good of a player is he? And I got to tell you, I do not know. He doesn't have a lot of stats behind him. He's been in college several years, so I can't tell you exactly what type of player we're getting for our Miami Hurricanes team. What I will be doing is looking at Louisville spring game. I'll be doing that over on Kick. So if you want to know a little bit more about him, then you can watch me do a deep dive on him. Y'all check me out on that platform. But Life Wallet writer Luke Chaney did say this about KJ. Floyd began his collegiate career at Jones College, where he totaled 46 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble in one season before transferring to Louisville in 2020. Floyd originally entered the transfer portal this past December and rejoined the Cardinals January 27th. And now he sits here today as the Miami Hurricane. We add depth, and Mario is sending a message that, hey, these linebackers, we're expecting more from you guys. And let's be honest, ever since Shaq, Mike Pickney, the linebackers haven't been living up to their part. Hopefully we can get this linebacking core back to the standard we know and love here at Miami. Next, Chance Robinson drops the top 3. You may be wondering, Grant, how can Chance Robinson drop a top 3 if he's already committed to Miami? How can you drop a top 3 if you aren't committed to Miami? Well, I'll tell you how. Recruiting is crazy these days, because over the weekend, Chance Robinson took a visit to the Florida Gators, and it's not something that worried me, not something that concerned me. Even though you committed, players still go on their visits. Maybe they just want to see different campuses. Maybe they just want to get fed, wined and dined. Who knows? But what gets me is, how can you, and this is what this tweet says with 3 logos, this looks like a top 3. How can you put out a top 3 if you're already committed? That's what I don't understand. People ask me, why don't I talk about Miami Hurricane visits? Why don't I do deep dive into recruitment? It's because recruitment these days is just crazy. It's honestly, it ain't for the faint of heart. We're at the point where a guy can commit to your school and then put out a top 3. Like, what? To me, that's crazy. I think these players, listen, do not commit until you're ready. That's what I think should happen. Do not commit until you are ready. But hey, it is what it is. We can't tell these kids what to do or how to do it. But to me, I feel like if you commit to a college, commit to them. If you're not committed, then be exactly that, non-committal. But going around to different colleges and then now putting out top 3s, to me, it's a lot. And that's why I don't cover recruiting as much as I used to back in the day. Next story I want to talk about is Javion Cohen. Now, we all know he transferred from Alabama, one of our biggest transfers, one of the biggest transfers in the offseason. At Alabama, he was a national champion. He was a starter. He did win awards. He was under the tutelage of Nick Saban. We just heard Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie linebacker for the Lions, say practices at Alabama, they try to kill you. So I say all that to assume that if you're coming from Alabama, where you started, where you won championships, you think you're getting a player who works hard. Well, on the Rivals.com site, somebody put out a post in the forum saying that Javion Cohen hasn't been living up to the mark, and they questioned his effort. And I don't have this screenshot, otherwise I would put it on the screen. But I saw that and I said, you got to be joking me, man. How do we know this? How do we know this if we don't have real football right now, especially for the offensive linemen? How can we say that? Hell, even for the spring, how do we know this? So the post ended up saying that people don't even think he'll start at Miami. He went from Alabama, where he was a starter, to Miami where he's not going to be a starter. What his source told him. Now, normally I wouldn't talk about this, but the post ended up getting back to Javion Cohen to where he had to tweet a picture of him running early in the morning to let people know that he's on a grind. Then he had to tweet out this: "I will give my all for Miami." To where then our starting center and transfer, Matt Lee, said, "Javion Cohen is a dog. Don't trip." So we get this forum post by a trusted person with Rivals who says their source says one thing. It gets so big that players have to respond to it, only for then the same person who made the post to put out another post saying this. The source has since retracted the statements regarding Javion Cohen, saying the statements are now untrue. What are we doing here, guys? Guys, I have a whole lot of videos on this channel, and a lot of those videos are criticizing players. There's a lot of videos who's hyping up players. But the thing is, I do this when they're under the big eye in the sky. And I'm not saying everybody has to be like me, but I'm saying I think we got to be fair to these athletes. When they do something dumb, hey, they're doing something dumb. When they're slacking on the field, you got video of it, feel free to do that. But when we're in the off season and you put it out there that the man hasn't been putting out the effort that he should, and the post gets so crazy that he has to respond, and then only for you to respond to retract the statement, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. And y'all know I always ask y'all. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping on that part. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is when a player does bad and you see it on the field, it's okay to critique. Because when they do good, we're going to hype them up. But the offseason, there's not a lot of physicalness going on, if any, especially with the offensive linemen. Let's just be for real on some of the things that we put out, especially if you are a professional site like Rivals. You guys let me know what you think, and also check me out on Kick and click this video on the screen. I'm out. Peace. No more defeat.